In this demonstration, I'm going to showcase ARCHIdigm's custom multi-view blocks for vehicles in AutoCAD Architecture. So to begin with, let me show you why we even offer this. If you haven't discovered it, if you go into your catalog library and go to the design tools, whether metric or imperial, cruise down to site, basic site, go over to vehicle, you're going to see what the native product offers. Seriously, this is 1980s stuff. I recall this being as far back, maybe it was early 90s they created this, but this really looks 1980 to me. Like 85 to 88, 89, somewhere in there. Some of these are pure 2D. I'll insert one of the worst ones here, and then we'll take a look at it in 3D. I mean, what, you know. So, case in point, no reason to explain why we offer what we offer. So let me pull up the tool palettes here and show you in our Streets kit right here. In the Streets kit, which you can buy individually or you'll get it in the suite if you buy the super bundle, we have on the second page transportation. Now before I bring in a vehicle, let's lay something out on the screen for that vehicle to sit on. So if I go back one here, I can go to Streets, and you'll see there's a whole variety of actual roadways that you can quickly lay out. And I have that palette on my screen here. So I'll go ahead and pick a 2-lane road right here and just draw that, that down. Okay. Now it's zoomed in a little too much, so I'll just zoom out, and then I have my 2-lane hardtop as a reference to a movie. And then I'll go back to Streets here, second page, and transportation. So here are the things that we offer. It starts off with a couple of bicycles. I think one is leaning, so you can set it up against a wall. The other one's just a straight bicycle. We did offer some other interesting things in here just to sort of balance out the whole suite or set of transportation objects. And it goes all the way to here at the end. We've got some commercial airliner. Pretty much we figured people are going to be using this for cars and maybe some trucks and things like that. So we have that area pretty well covered, but not in the extreme. Even in watercraft, we have like a sailboat. But mostly it was focusing on cars. And what I'll do here is I'll show you, I'm going to bring in, just for fun in this demonstration, the 32 coupe from the movie American Graffiti. So I roughly, I built this model, and I roughly based it on what was available online. I'm sure there are mistakes, but it'll look like you know, it's that car. So I brought it in. When I click on it, it's a multi-view block. There's the name. Here's the indication that it's a multi-view block. And like our other multi-view blocks, it does have a mask. So when you bring it over other objects, you can hide them, or you can use draw order to send it under. I'll go ahead and put it back in the center here. If I go ahead and rotate into 3D, you'll see that the car pops up. Before I do more demonstration with this, let me show you where you can purchase this, or if you want more vehicles, here's what you can do. So online, here's our website. It's ARCHIdigm.com, so ARCHIdigm.com. You can go to products, and you'll see our lineup of products in here. If you jump right here to this button for store, you can do that, or you can go down here and see Streets Store or read more about the Streets product. But just go to Store, and this takes you over to our secure online store. And you'll see, if you go to All Products, that we offer cars for, I think, a very reasonable price of $5 a pop. If you buy any of these, you also get the pure AutoCAD version. So you get 2 copies. One is an MvBlock for AutoCAD Architecture. The other one is just a regular AutoCAD setup if you don't have or don't want to use AutoCAD Architecture. Some of these are in the Streets kit. This one, and I think this one. These two for sure are in you get them with Streets. These you do not. So from the VWID and over, all of these down here are separate. And if anybody makes requests for additional cards, we may just keep adding to this, but we've stopped for now and see how it goes. Now, if you want access to the model itself, you just go to Insert, and you'll go down to this list here, and you'll see any of our blocks that have a suffix of M, just a pure M. That's from Model. Go ahead and click OK. Bring that in over here. Pick on it. You'll see this is now the block. So you can explode it if you want to, or you can do a right click and go to Edit Block in Place and OK. And you now will have temporary access to what this thing really is. And if I click here on this outer body line right there, you'll see I'm getting the whole back portion of the body. Over here, it's going to tell you that it's an AutoCAD mesh. And you'll see that the material is assigned to it. So this is how you pretty much render in AutoCAD, but not AutoCAD Architecture, because it has material definition styles. This is not an AutoCAD Architecture object. It is just a exported and imported surface model done in Blender. So it has been brought in, it has been cleaned up and converted to something you can use in both AutoCAD and AutoCAD Architecture. But if you need to change the color of something or the texture of something, this is one of the ways you do it. You get to the core object, and then you can assign it a different material here. I'm going to go ahead and discard my changes, and I'll show you. If you go to Material with an S, Materials, you'll get the Materials palette. And if we scroll down here, you'll see anything that has a prefix of Streets is how you'll locate the render materials for the Streets objects and styles. So that should be self-explanatory. If I go far enough down, I should see yellow. So this is the default color or render material assigned to the coupe. And if I go to View, if I go to Realistic, you'll see here there's all the yellow. So you could assign it a different material, or you could just change the default of yellow to whatever you want. I mean, it might be confusing to make yellow red, but you could do that. You just double click in here, and then you have full control over the color of whatever is called, this is just the name. It's not what it really is. But just know that, so that you understand, if you buy our products and are working with them, and you want a red coupe instead of a yellow one, or you want black wheels instead of chrome wheels, that's how you do it. Now I'll go ahead and dump that out of there. The next thing I want to show is how to get something extra out of the purchase of this, the Streets kit, is that you would typically render the stuff. Now before I render, I will show you, if I go to Plan World and I turn this into a wireframe, and if I jump to our, let's see, annotation palette, this is under the general tools. Everybody gets general tools. Any purchase gives you general tools for free, and you'll see we have annotation, and it offers some customized annotation tools. But here, if I just want to do like an elevation, so I'm going to use an interior. Let me use let's see, an exterior elevation. I'll use this one. Here's an exterior elevation. So if I go ahead and I shoot a side view of the car, and I just go ahead and let it generate it here in the current drawing, we'll just do it like, let's do it like this, and then place it over here. It's not going to be optimum. I will admit that. This is what happens when you take a projected elevation of something that's been modeled with surfaces. You will see where all the seams are of the surfaces, you might say facets. So for example, you'll see tires that don't look optimum. You would probably prefer to see none of that stuff in there. And this is a reality of what happens when you model with faces. But it's not bad. I tend to not use these things in my elevation views. There are some other objects in our product designed specifically for this purpose. So if you go to General Tools and you go to Graphics and you go to Clip Art, in here we have something that is probably more akin to what you might want to use. So let's say, for example, I'll use a pickup truck. We don't have all of those vehicles converted, but let's just say you are looking for a vehicle, then you can just bring this in. Amazing how small a coupe is compared to an F-150. But this is a 2D object with masking capability. That's probably more appropriate for your elevations. But just to show you what happens. If you wanted to clean that up and you really wanted that, you'd have to do some kind of a polyline trace around the outside of this thing. But okay, so there's that. Now the real purpose of these objects, I'll delete all of this here, I don't need this, is to render them, or at least show them in shaded views or hidden views or whatever you want. So if we go ahead and now move on to rendering, the first step that I would suggest in rendering would be to go up here to, let's see, render. I would suggest going to exposure here, turn that on, just leave everything in default mode. Go to your view cube, right click, go down to perspective, okay. Shift mouse and rotate this thing into a perspective view, something like this. You can go to 3D orbit, type it in, or find it however you prefer. Take a look at your properties palette and you'll notice that the default lens is 50 millimeter. I would recommend something like a 35 millimeter. Now it's not showing it in 3D. I'll just have to go into high detail and then I can go back to medium if I want to, but that's fine. Then I'm going to do a shift middle button to kind of get a better 3D shot here, something cool. Okay, and I'll accept all of that. I'm going to do a test render on this thing, whatever size you want here, and then go ahead and just let it run. And it should spit something out here. Now I was running some other render, so they're probably slowing it down. My buffer's full, but here you go. This is completely. This is what you can do. I mean, doing nothing. You saw me do it. There's no hocus pocus, nothing fake. You'll get this quality on your machine. And if you zoom in, you're probably going to find, you see the faceting on the fenders and stuff, but this is all to reduce memory. We don't want these types of things to get too large. If you really do high quality stuff or you buy high quality stuff online and bring it in, it can bog your project down dramatically. So, you know, the idea here is to just get them good enough that they don't make people go, hey, that's a weird car, you know. They'll just go, okay, that's fine. That looks like a car. So that's the first level here, is that you would just go with those defaults. But let's take it a little bit farther now and get out of this simplistic default rendering here. Let's go to actually get some sunlight and work with sort of a more realistic sun environment. So I'll go over here and I'll switch this to sky background and illumination. I'm going to jump down to the, oops, I don't want this. I'm going to go over here to the environment and set the sun to on. Turn off the default lighting, recommended. Yes. I would suggest going to maybe, well, I'll do a night scene is what I'll do. So I'll leave the intensity factor at 1. Let's go down here and take a look. Let's set the time to an evening shot somewhere around 5:30. And you can tinker with the dates and the other things in here, but this is all I want to get started with. And let's do a render of that. Okay, so we're getting a cool night scene here. It's a little dark. So here's where I'm going to exit out of that. What I will probably do is increase the intensity factor to 2. But now that I have this scene and I kind of like it, let's turn the lights on. So we'll go to Materials with an S, and let's locate the headlights. So the headlights should be streets, and then something up here that should be self-evident. So we have glass, and then we have a headlamp glass. So let's double click on that. Let's go down to self-illumination. And let's give it something like desk lamp lens. We'll start with that. You could have some fun and do some filter color. If you wanted to make this look like an old car, and if you have seen old cars, they have pretty amber, the slight amber color to them, pretty dim lighting. I owned an old car, and at night it was not fun to drive. It had basically kind of a tint to it that was in this neighborhood. So I could do that just for fun. Now I'll probably have to come back and play with the luminance to match the scene, but we'll start there. Now while we're at it, let's find the red. So here's the headlamp red, and we'll go ahead and give that self-illumination. And also let's put that up to, now these would be the rear brake lights on that particular car. So let's just go ahead and bump them up to something really bright because they're going to be small and we can get away with that. And I'm going to do nothing more than what I've set here. And okay. Okay. And we could render that and see what happens. Okay, so there you go. You get the glow. But let's go a little farther. Let's see. Yeah, let's go a little farther. So I'm now going to go into Plan World, and I'm going to set the this to wireframe. Now here are the headlights. So let's make the headlights actually produce light. So we can go over here to Home. Let's go to, let's see, oops, Render. Let's go to Create a Light. We want a spotlight, and we'll just go ahead somewhere out here and just aim it straight with the ortho on. Enter. Grab that. You might want to rename that like headlamp. And then we'll tweak some of these things in here. Let's go hotspot 35. Let's do the fall off 60. Okay, so this is where it's the brightest and it's falling off from there to there. Let's bring that all out to about here. Let's move the light close to the lamp, but not inside because it will impact the quality of the light. Then you have to compensate for that as it's coming through the glass. So I cheat. I'll put it on the outside. Let's go ahead and mirror that. So I'll mirror that across the midpoint here. So we've got those two. Let's switch over to side view here. So we'll go left. All right, and then move these two guys right up into here. All right, pick one of them and make sure that the light is actually coming down and hitting the ground. So I would go ahead and grab this and bring it out more. So it's sort of like this, like that. Okay, so I'll have to find the one that, yeah. So get rid of this this first one because I don't want to make the same adjustment. So go back to Plan World. Oh, Plan World. Mirror this one over again. So that was kind of a mistake, mirroring it too soon. Okay, UCS. My UCS is messed up here. UCS, I'm going to set UCS to World. Mirror this guy right there. Okay, so that's better. Let's now select both of them. Come over here and take a look at the intensity factor. I bet you're going to need an intensity factor of about 100. So put that in. That's because we have daylighting on because when we put the sun in, that's pretty bright. So you'll have to compensate for the brightness of that. Now, if this was with no sun, you would be able to use 1 or 2 for the intensity factor on those lights. Now we'll do perspective again. All right, so this time I'm going to get over to this side of the car, so I'll see the brake lights, and I want to see the headlights on the road, maybe something like that. And we'll go ahead and do a render and take a look at how that works out. Okay, so there you go. So now you're seeing the brake lights lit up. Now if you think those are too bright, go back and modify that material. Now I have given you all of the different areas to tinker with. You can increase the light for the evening. So for example, we go up here to the evening light. So one thing is I'm increasing the intensity factor, but you can also change the time of day. So if you bring this up to, say, 5 o'clock, it'll lighten up the scene. Right, so there we go. All right. So that's sort of a, a fairly short overview of how to use our vehicles, our cars mostly, to enhance the rendering appearance of your architectural work. And hopefully that's enough to get you excited. I'm out.